In today's video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about RR. So RR stands for risk to reward, which is simply the English version. Just so you have a general idea, I've drawn it out for you here. Then, for example, you can see a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and 1-to-3. You can see that we always take the same risk each time, in this example $100, and in this case we are targeting exactly double that. That means if we close our position right here, where our risk is $100, we make exactly $100. Otherwise, if we have our entry here, set the same stop loss, take the same risk of $100, but set our take profit higher up, which is of course riskier or sometimes more difficult, we get twice the risk as a reward. That means, from the $100 up to here, we can add it up. 100 plus another 100, so $200. The same applies if we target one more level, we get 3 times the risk as a reward. And what does that mean in connection with our win rate and our edge? I'll show you that beautifully here, for example, once again. Here we see a 1-to-4 ratio. Now here in a bearish example, because it's exactly the same whether you take a long or short position open. Here, for example, we have a risk of $100, but we get 4 times the risk as a reward. And why is that better than, say, just a 1-to-1? Where we risk $100 and close the position again after a $100 profit? The advantage of a 1-to-4 is that we only put $100 on the table once and get $400 out. If you think ahead to the next 10, 20, 30 trades, you make as much with just one trade as you would if you targeted a 1-to-1 4 times. For example, here you can see the first position, second, third, fourth. Altogether, this reflects the profit from this single position. In this case, we put the risk on the table 4 times. We see there are 4 positions, and each time we put $100 on the table here, $100 here, $100 here, and $100 here. This means that here we risk $100 to gain $400, and here we risk $400 to gain $400. I hope this is clear for you. If you have any questions, of course you can always tag us on Discord or ask others in the community who might already understand it better. Don't be afraid, really just always ask your questions. And what does this have to do with win rate and edge? As we've just learned, it's crucial how much risk you put on the table and how many trades it takes. Let's take the example of a 1-to-4 ratio. If we hit a take profit now, we make a profit of $400. That means if we then hit 4 stop losses in a row, 4 times $100 risk, then really only every 4th trade needs to be a take profit, which reflects a win rate of 25% in order to ultimately break even, meaning you haven't made a profit or a loss. However, if you now hit a take profit at a 1-to-1 ratio, that means you put your risk on the table once and make $100. If you then lose the next 4 trades, you end up at minus $400. If you win one trade at a 1-to-1 ratio and lose the other, you would be break even. This means that with a 1-to-1 ratio, you would need a 50% win rate. As we have learned, for example, a 1-to-2 ratio should, when it comes to edge, be the minimum to really say that you do not even need a 50% win rate to be profitable. This is simply an enormous factor for your mindset, allowing you to trade with less stress, less pressure, more freedom and greater ease, and to really target the targets we define as strong liquidity and so on. What strong liquidity and so on actually are, you will learn later. Alright friends, and with that, we've reached the end. And if you have any questions, feel free to tag us in the chat or just post your questions in the questions channel and you'll definitely get an answer. With that, good trades. Ciao, ciao.